and built something really exciting. And it was mutual. We started talking and said, we've always had a passion to make an MMO, and frankly, the IP that we wanted to make, the number one by far, was in Star Wars. And LucasArts, because of our great experience working together in that universe, they were very open to the idea. Just kind of, it really was very natural. It happened very, very quickly, the decision.
One more thing?
One more thing, just keep it up. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Well, actually, I got to say, right back at you, you guys are awesome, so thank you.
Okay, next question. Wollen wir die nächste Frage, Steven? Okay. So, wer hat noch eine Frage? You have a question? You have a question? Okay, bitte.
Already decided if there will be Sith Inquisitors?
What's the question?
Will there be Sith Inquisitors which are Sith purebloods in-game?
The answer is no, according to Daniel Erickson.
Okay. Deine Frage bitte.
I want to ask you, is there any more flavor races than what we already know?
You got that? No, bitte lauter ins Mikrofon sprechen.
Will there be more flavor races with the game's release than the ones we already know of?
Are there going to be more races in the game besides those we already know?
Yeah, no, actually, what we'll be having here is what we'll ship with, but of course, very easy for us to add more stuff after. So, I'm sorry, I keep moving back. So, this is what we have for launch, what you're seeing here, and then with more afterward.
Okay, next question. Nächste Frage. Steven, du musst mir helfen. Steven, wo ist die nächste Frage? Next question. Okay, wir suchen noch eine. So, maybe I could ask you a question, because I'm also a Knights of the Old Republic fan. I played 1 and 2.
Well, you have the shirt, so...
And yes, I'm wearing the shirt because I'm getting paid to wear it. And no, just a joke.
So are we, actually.
And my question is, if this sound system is too crazy for us, if you guys go too far on stage, it gets crazy. So my question is, I played who plays Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2? Who played it? Alright. So my question is, meine Frage ist, was passiert mit Revan? What happened to Revan? Are we going to find out about it?
Yes.
Alright, yay!
There's actually a lot of stuff about Revan in the game, and there's actually also, one of the really cool things, you actually go back to Terrace. And if there's some really, really cool stuff on Terrace that ties it back to the old one that got blown up. So, I'm not saying anything more than that, but...
Good. Okay, cool, jetzt bin ich auch glücklich. Also ich werde es mir kaufen. So, haben wir noch eine Quiz, Steven? Ich muss immer auf Steven achten, weil Steven ist derjenige, der immer entscheidet, welche Fragen... Oh, hier haben wir noch eine. We have one right here. Are you ready? Okay, cool. Your question, please.
Will there be special role-play servers in the Old Republic?
Special role-play server.
That's... See, he's the guy who's... Special roleplay server, that's a subject of some debate. That's all I'll say on that. We're talking about that right.
Okay. Also es wird diskutiert, ob es die machen. Wir haben noch eine Frage. Sehr viele Fragen. Okay, du willst deine Frage auf Deutsch stellen? Okay, bitte.
Meine Frage ist, für die erweiterten Klassen, welche zum Beispiel Power-Technologie oder Juggernaut, kannst du dir noch als Idee machen, weil ich habe einen Special ja.
Okay, so the question is, if you choose one of the expanded classes, like a Juggernaut, advanced classes, like a Juggernaut, if you could skill those characters as a damage dealer as well. Yes, to a certain degree.
Yeah, because some of the advanced classes are actually, they're sort of hybrids. So it's interesting. So you'll have let's say a Juggernaut could be like you can be either a pure tank or a tank plus some DPS. So you actually have the ability on the skill tree to customize. I'm not sure if you want to add to that, but it's one of the cool things about the character classes. Even though the rule is clear, there's some stuff you can do to customize it to be a little more unique.
Okay, cool. Okay, dann wollen wir nochmal eine Frage, Steven. Okay, er checkt gerade nochmal aus, so, dann schauen wir, wer hat noch eine Frage? Steven, you got one? Yeah, okay, wir haben schon eine. Okay, from here. Okay, what's your question?
Will there ever be an item shop for real currency?
An item shop for real currency? Again, something that's very speculative. I mean, definitely not at launch. But who knows? We'll see. I don't really think that's something that we'll find out. We'll figure it out over time.
It would ruin a lot.
What?
It would ruin a lot.
Yeah, not a lot. It would ruin a lot, he said. Yeah, no, I mean, okay. We'll see. We'll see in the future. All right, next question. Bitte schön.
When you founded BioWare, did you ever dream about making a Star Wars game, and how are Knights of the Old Republic and the Old Republic of importance to you in comparison to Mass Effect or Dragon Age that are your own franchises?
Did we ever dream about making a Star Wars game when we formed BioWare? I heard that part. And then how does it compare with other IPs we're working on?
That you invented yourself, the universe.
How does it compare to ones we invent ourselves, new IPs? Yeah, I think who didn't dream about being in the Star Wars universe growing up? I mean, when I saw the Star Wars movie the first time, I don't know, it was like, when did I say, in the late 70s? The first thing I did was get my dad, who took me to the movie, to bring me right back into the movie so I could watch it again. I'm pretty passionate about the IP. And I think we love working with a license because it's in many ways it's very similar to working with an IP that our teams create. Like you build an IP Bible, you build a brand Bible, and you build a lot of detail about how the universe works, the characters in it, and all the interactions work. And when you work with a great partner like Lucasfilm, they come with a lot of that canon established. And in fact, our teams in Knights of the Old Republic and in the Old Republic got to help create some of that canon and bring that into the Star Wars IP, which is a huge thrill for us. But either way, we're really, really happy working in IPs we create ourselves. We're also ecstatic to work with the great folks at Lucasfilm and Star Wars.
Cool. Okay. Right, next question. We have one over there. Hello, what's your question?
Could you tell us something about the in-game content? How many operations will there be? And is there anything apart from operations you can do?
So, we're not going to say exactly how many operations, but there are obviously going to be some. We've shown you one, there'll be others. There's also, I'm not sure if you heard of the flashpoints, but they're actually the other, they're kind of like a raid, but there's a little more story content. And the operations tend to be very combat focused and also very puzzle focused to beat the bosses. Operations are a little more like extended multiplayer experiences with people and also with story branching. So there'll be a lot of kind of flashpoints at the end as well. And then, things like the daily quests. What's that? Yeah. The number of ways mentioned. We have also even then smaller kind of group. Some are actually pretty big though, so it's not fair to call them smaller, but some people call them heroics. So 2 or 4 person group content as well. So all these things you're gonna have a whole bunch of them at the end of the game, and you'll be able to play through all those, and also the usual like daily quests and things like that. So and then crafting, all the usual stuff that just kind of piles up. I'm not sure if you want to.
Post-launch as well, we'll be adding more content of all these types, flashpoints and operation raids and heroics into the game. Based on what kind of player feedback we get, we'll fine-tune the kinds of operations we build based on your feedback, and try and make, the PvP arenas. We'll try and augment all those things based on what you want. So a lot of it's going to depend on what you tell us and how you interact with the content when you play it, what you like and what you don't like.
Okay, cool. Okay, next question over here, please.
Is it possible that maybe in a few years, next year, players will be able to choose another own starship, so there are more stuff for the broadcast?
Yeah, sorry, it's hard to hear, but I think I got it. So what about more starships? Is that what you're wondering? We have some plans for some interesting starship stuff. The way starships work right now, they're very much a part of the story. So it's a very specific reason you get a specific one. There's a story about how you get it. So that's actually one of the really cool parts of the game. Later, though, post-launch, that's one of the things we'll look at is a variety of things around your starship, too. There may be opportunities to customize, as well as possibly other types of ships for other purposes, but we're keeping that kind of
I would say you don't need to worry.
So we'll see.
We're never going to see microtransactions in the way you might think. It's not going to be
We've
like
got another question from Twitter, and Orcslayer72 asks, what's your favorite class to play?
So, Nisha, why don't I go first? Let's go first.
Well, I always tend to play I don't know, like a force wielder or magic user in games. I really like that. So for me, the Inquisitor, the Consular, and actually I've never really gotten into healers before in MMOs, but I really like the healer advanced classes and add a lot of skill points and skill tree into the healing attributes of those two. And I found them really satisfying, whether it's Imperial or Republic. I tend to be, I don't know, the Inquisitor has some pretty delicious choices, and I don't know, the story arc is pretty compelling. So I'd probably pick that one if I had to pick one, but...
Actually, funny enough, I've played pretty much everything now. I've been playing a lot of the Consular and then turned to a Sage, so again, funny enough, also healing. Felix, I want to do a lot of grouping, and so I'm going to be doing a lot of grouping with my Sage. I'm having a lot of fun. For the final game, though, I may end up playing probably the Trooper. That's kind of what more my style. But we'll see again. Like you can actually create a support healer Trooper with the DPS and heal, which is kind of interesting. So maybe something like that. We'll see.
I pretty much guarantee Greg will have a tank because he always plays tanks in games for years and years. So going back, I bet money on that actually. But I don't know. I'm playing a Trooper right now, and I got to say I don't normally play that kind of class, but I'm really enjoying it, and I'm going to continue playing for a while longer before I try another one.
Okay, that's it. I'm going to play the Imperial Agent then. It's just to be not a tank. So that was actually another class. I'm just kidding. I probably have a tank. But actually, the Imperial Agent was another one I played quite a bit. Really cool story, really fun. I mean, they're all good. I mean, that's the thing about the classes. They're all very interesting to play. And you'll have as players, you'll see there's going to be a lot of good reasons to play various different classes as well. That'll be something interesting that I'll talk about later. So,
all right, let's make a bet. You want to take the tank? You want to be a tank? Let's bet money on it.
What?
Ray said you bet money on it that you're going to play a tank.
What's your bet?
Yeah, well, I bet 20 euros, which is around $3,000 US.
Well, we're Canadian though. The Canadian dollar stays strong.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
One last question. Okay, last question. Du stellst die letzte Frage. Komm her. Oh, bitteschön. What's your name? Steven, please.
About companions, you get some affection points, you have an affection rating. Would it be possible to have maximum affection for your 5 companions? How can you get more affection?
So about the affection system, how can you raise it? There's actually